Assalamualaikum. I am Maria Raza from APS 7 Strings. Dear listeners, today this is our second lesson. Initiating with the majestic name of Allah Almighty. Dear listeners, at the end of today's lesson, you will be able to understand the features of the 1973 Constitution of Pakistan. Secondly, perceive the efforts for Islamization between 1977 till 1988. The topics that we are going to discuss in today's lesson are background, recap of the previous lesson, Constitution 1973, end of Bhutto's regime, the start of Ziaul Haq's era, and process of Islamization in Pakistan between 1977 and 1988. Dear learners, is rule pertinent in life? Is it necessary? Wisdom says yes. Because nature itself is the manifest proof of the presence of rules in life. Wisdom supports that rule regulates life. For instance, when the new classes resume in school, then in order to avoid the shambolic situation and for the purpose of welcoming the smooth atmosphere, the necessary aspect is the presence of classroom rules. Same was the case with the nascent state Pakistan. That rule was necessary for Pakistan to have the smooth running of the government. For this purpose, the first Constituent Assembly under the headship of Muhammad Ali Jinnah asked for the points in order to draft the future Constitution of Pakistan. Such points were given the name of objective resolution, the objective of Constitution. And it was passed by Yaqut Ali Khan on 12th March 1949. So this points, objective resolution, served as a beacon light. Beacon light means is a path for the future constitution. It comprised of sovereignty of Allah Almighty. It means the ultimate power belongs to Allah. Secondly, laws according to Quran and Sunnah. There ought to be no laws against Quran and Sunnah. Besides, there must be practice of equality, justice, and brotherhood. Furthermore, religious liberty, religious freedom should be provided to every citizen. Next point is fundamental rights. The basic rights of life should be given to every person in Pakistan. Lastly, judiciary was considered to be free and independent over all organs of the state. After the objective resolution, certain committees were established. The purpose of setting up certain committees was to make a draft for the Constitution of Pakistan. In December 1950, Board of Talimat-e-Islamiyya, this committee presented its points. Unluckily, the report was rejected, and this report did not achieve the title of Pakistan's Constitution. With certain drawbacks, for instance, Urdu was the national language. Secondly, there was the report ignored the population of East Pakistanis. For these two basic reasons, the East Pakistanis started protest. So was the rejection of the report. Then onwards, on 22nd December 1952, the Basic Principles Committee presented its points, and haplessly, this report was also rejected because of certain defects. For instance, we can say that language was not at all discussed in that report. Secondly, ulama was given the monopoly. Now, Muhammad Ali Bogra was contemplating, after the contemplation, he formulated his formula on 7th October 1953. And this formula was appreciated, was welcomed in both the wings of Pakistan. Regarding the language, regarding the seating, the number of the seats in the assembly. And finally, in 1956, Pakistan got its constitution, almost after a period of 9 years, under the presidentship of Skandar Mirza. It is worth mentioning here that from 1947 till 1956, There was title of Governor General, which from 1956 and onwards replaced by President. In 1962, President Ayub Khan announced for the Constitution of 1962, as in 1958 the Constitution 1956 was abrogated. Now it's about time to flesh back the ideas of the previous lesson. We started with the theme that Ayub Khan resigned under the duress of public protest in March 1969. He handed over the government to General Yahya Khan, and General Yahya Khan announced for the election 1970. As a result of election, Awami League's Mujibur Rahman and Pakistan People's Party Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the two parties were leading in both the wings of Pakistan, but due to violence in East Pakistan due to interruption of India, Pakistan lost its one wing, and today that wing is present on the map of Pakistan, on the map of the world by the name of Bangladesh. So therefore it is said that election 1970, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was the leading party in West Pakistan and took the government. Now Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the the chairperson of Pakistan People's Party, on 17th October 1972, with the agreement of other members of the parliament, just made a committee under the headship of Muhammad Ali Kasuri. On 2nd February 1973, the National Assembly presented bill of the Constitution in the National Assembly. The bill was presented by that committee of Muhammad Ali Kasuri. 12th April 1973, Bhutto announced the 1973 Constitution of Pakistan, and finally announced for the enforcement of Constitution in 1973 from 14th August 1973. It means on 14th August 1973, Pakistan got its permanent constitution with certain features. For instance, rigid constitution. A constitution is rigid when a rule is implemented, when the amendment is passed, in a case when two-thirds majority of the parliament supports it. Secondly, Islamic provisions, sovereignty of Allah Almighty. It is the point of the objective resolution. The name of Pakistan is Islamic Republic of Pakistan. No law against Quran and Sunnah. Islam considered as the state religion. Pakistan must be having good relationship with the Muslim world, and for the first time in this constitution the term Muslim was defined. Muslim, a person having credence, having belief in the oneness of Allah Almighty and in the finality of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Furthermore, Pakistan is a federal state comprising of 4 provinces: KPK, Punjab, Balochistan and Sindh. Federal state with a federal capital, Islamabad. Initially, Karachi was the capital of Pakistan, and on 14th August 1967, Islamabad was the new capital of Pakistan. Along with the 4 provinces with the federal capital, Pakistan comprised of federally administered tribal areas, let us say FATA. FATA was considered to be federally separate tribal areas till 2018. But in 2018, 31st May 2018, FATA was merged with KPK. The last one, provincially administered tribal areas, FATA, is mentioned, is highlighted on the map. If you see on the northern part, in 1969, Swat and some other areas were merged as part of KPK. So in the Constitution of 1973, as part of FATA, only Malakand division was comprised of this part. And the next feature of the Constitution is parliamentary form of government. What actually parliamentary form of government is, that head of the state is president. By the way, who is the current head of the state? Who is the current president of Pakistan? Yes, dear listeners. Arif Alvi is 13th president of Pakistan. And Prime Minister is head of the government, like Imran Khan is 22nd Prime Minister of Pakistan. Prime Minister is head of the cabinet, and Prime Minister along with his cabinet is responsible, is accountable for his actions in front of the National Assembly. In the Constitution 1956 and 1962, there was concept of unicameral system. Now in this constitution, bicameral system. Bi means two, cameral means houses, the two houses. For instance, the first house is upper house, that is Senate. In Urdu we call it Ewan-e-Bala. The members of this house is called senators. In this house there are chairman, deputy chairman, leader of the house, leader of opposition. Initially it was 104 senators. But after the FATA merger, after 2018, 31st May 2018, 104 was transformed into 96 senators. The second house, lower house, National Assembly. In Urdu, this is Ewan-e-Zeri, and members of this house is called Member of National Assembly, MNA. We are having here Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Leader of the House, Leader of Opposition. Previously, before FATA merger, there were 342 seats. But after FATA merger, 336 seats, out of which 70 seats are reserved for women and minorities. And collectively, the two houses make the Parliament of Pakistan, and the Parliament of Pakistan is having the name Majlis-e-Shura. A question of general knowledge I want to share here. Which country's parliament is the oldest parliament in the world? Think about this. Either I will share the answer at the end, or I need your answer in the comment. President must be Muslim. The minimum age limit is 45 years, and president is elected by the members of parliament. It means the two houses and provincial assemblies. For a period of 5 years, president could be removed with a 2/3 majority of parliament. And onwards, Prime Minister, the same case, must be Muslim and elected by the members of National Assembly. Fundamental rights, in a way that everybody must be given freedom of thought, expression, and speech. Security of life must be provided to every single person. Besides, slavery and forced labor should be banned in Pakistan. And judiciary is a part of the objective resolution, must be free and independent over all other organs of the state. In judiciary must be having supremacy. Urdu is kept the national language of Pakistan, and some institutions were set up. For instance, Council for Common Ideology. Council for Common Ideology will deal the problems between the provinces. For instance, if the problem is related to water supply regarding the provinces, then the members of this council will tackle the issue. Secondly, National Finance Commission. National Finance Commission comprised of federal and provincial finance ministers with a purpose to advise on distribution of revenue between the federation and the provinces. Lastly, National Economic Council. National Economic Council having the purpose to coordinate policy making for domestic and international economic issues. Collectively, this 1973's constitution is having 25 amendments. And the last amendment was the 31st May 2018 FATA merger. Now it's about time to discuss the end of Bhutto's regime and the start of Ziaul Haq's era. In 1977, election was conducted. As a result of election, the two leading parties, Pakistan People's Party, scored 158 seats out of 200 seats. The second party, Pakistan National Alliance, which was the alliance of 9 political parties against the party of Pakistan People's Party, achieved 38 votes. Now, after the result of election, Pakistan National Alliance demanded for re-election, faced rejection from Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. As a repercussion, Pakistan National Alliance protested. In order to crush the rebellion, in order to calm down the situation, there was Operation Fair Play by General Ziaul Haq. In this way, there was end of Bhutto's ruling period and the start of General Ziaul Haq. Now, General Ziaul Haq from 1977 started the process of Islamization. Islamization means that all those efforts in order to make the country purely Islamic. Now, all the points I have merged under certain subheadings. Let's suppose the first one is judiciary and legal system. On 10th of February 1979, Hudud Ordinance was introduced. Hudud means punishment. Ordinance means the rule for punishment regarding drinking alcohol and theft. For instance, as far as drinking alcohol is considered. So, for example, if any Muslim is involved in this act in drinking alcohol, then he had to face 80 strips. On the other hand, if any non-Muslim is involved in this case and is committing this sin in any religious event, then he had to face 30 strips. Manufacture of alcohol, its sale, export and import, all these aspects were banned according to the Islamization process of General Ziaul Haq. Then in case of theft, for the first time, cutting of right hand. Second time, cutting of left hand. But if an honest mistake turns out to be something habit, then life imprisonment. Secondly, in May 1980, Federal Sharia Code was introduced. And this code was introduced, as the name represents, on the federal level, and ulama was considered to be as judge in this code. There was introduction of Sharia faculty. Sharia department was introduced. Let's suppose Quaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad, and in Islamia University, Bahawalpur. Second main topic is financial matters. In June 1980, Zakat concept was introduced. Zakat is poor tax which is imposed on every wealthy person. And for instance, if a person is having bank account, if the amount in that account exceeds more than a limit, then that person has to pay 2.5% tax on his account. And I feel sharing at this point here, the twin month of Ramadan is looming large. Everybody is rushing towards the bank in order to withdraw their money for the sake of fear of zakat deduction. So, dear listeners, zakat is imposed only on saving accounts, not on current accounts. And in 1983, Usher was announced. This is agriculture tax, and out of the complete production, the 10% of the profit is paid as this agriculture tax. January 1981, interest-free banking system was announced. Interest-free banking system was based on Mudarba system. Mudarba system means, is the picture, if you just zoom in, this will be very much clear to you. The client, the account holder, gives money to the bank. The bank uses that money for the business, for earning of money. Now, if the bank faces loss, loss will be shared with the customer. And in case of profit, again, profit sharing will be there with the customer. And the profit, the money, the surplus amount that the customer is getting, in case of Mudarba system, it is not interest, it is not sood, rather that is profit. And there was revival of religious spirit in terms of the congregational Zohar prayers like Namaz Jamaat, respect of Ramadan. Nobody is allowed to drink or to eat during the fasting hours. If somebody is found committing the sin, then 500 rupees fine plus 3 months imprisonment. Lastly, Wafaqi Muhtasib Ala was introduced. In English, this office is Office of Ombudsman, with the purpose to capture the corruption. The next heading is Islamic National Spirit. Pakistan Studies and Islamiyat, these two subjects were kept compulsory in graduation, in the 13th and 14th years of education that we call bachelor's, in the CSS exam, as well as in the exam conducted for police. Urdu is national language, and Islamization regarding the electronic media, in a way, the teaching of Holy Quran and Arabic on radio and TV, this was the concept introduced. And lastly, live Hajj transmission was aired on the television. It's about time to write down the questions. These are the 3 questions relevant to our today's topic. I'm looking forward to help your assignments. And yes, the answer of general knowledge, the country with the oldest parliament is Iceland. And the name of that parliament is Althing. Wish you best of luck. Thank you.